What is up, guys? This is Alexander. I know I may look a lot different from what I usually do, but I'm, just chilling, doing what I do. I told you guys 100 times I was going to do an album review, and I'm finally doing it, as you can tell from the title. So, I actually don't think I'm just BSing this. I actually did, a lot of work for this. Just because I was bored, something to do, and, talk about music with others, I guess. So, the album that I'm going to be doing, as you can tell, is Acceptance Speech by Gavin. This was released on Rise, and it came out on December 8th of 2013. The producer for this was Matt Malpass, and instead of it usually being Chris Crummett was the one who did all their other albums. The reason why I chose Dance Gavin Dance is because I've listened to all their material up until this point, and this is basically brand new to me. So, yeah. Returning on this album from the old CDs is Will Swan, John Mess, and Matt Mingus, who respectively do guitar, screamed vocals, and drums. And then there's also Tillian Pearson now, who is the clean vocalist. He was in Tides of Man, and he did some solo work, but he has been picked to be the vocalist of this band, and this album features him. It's the first album to feature him, along with bassist Tim Furyk and guitarist Josh Benton. This is 11 tracks, and it's worthy to mention that it got up to 42 on the Billboard Top 200. So that's pretty good for a band of this vein. They don't really get up on the actual Billboard charts too often, so it's cool to see that they did, and they actually ranked pretty high. You may notice that I'm talking a bit quieter and a little bit harsher. I have a pretty bad sore throat, but I really just want to do this. So now that I'm trying to keep it under 15 minutes, so since it's about 2 minutes, I'm just going to start. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go track by track. I'm going to highlight everything that I liked from each track. And, yeah, hope you enjoy it. Alright, the first song on the album is called Jesus H. Macy. I wish I was cool enough that I could kind of sample in each song, but right now I'm just playing some happiness album behind it to give it a little bit of ambiance. Alright, this song, I thought it was amazing how the first thing that you hear is this guitar riff, and it just screams Will Swan and DGD, and you have that amazing clear vibe of where they're going, and then when it kicks in with John Mess, it's just, Matt Mingus, the drummer, his his drum work is just phenomenal. He's hitting a lot of stuff, a lot of 16th notes are bumping with it, and it has this really full, fast, clear vibe, and I really like that. And then when Tillian comes in, it's his first part on any of their albums. It's just that first highlighting part that people that listen front to back when they first get it, they just want to get that clear picture of what he's going to be, and he gives just enough to, highlight what he's going to be doing, but not so much that he intimidates. Sorry about that. My mom came in. I had to pause the video real quickly. Kind of changed the camera angle. Anyway, that's basically all I really had to say about that song, aside from the tremolo and tenor range. How Tillian sings, and how Will Swan will play a lot of tremolo leads. They fit really well together, and that song starts to show how they're going to use that in this upcoming album. Alright, the second song on the album is called The Robot with Human Hair, Part 4. This song was the first song that I heard off this album, since it was one of the first singles, and it immediately just captured my attention. It reminded me a lot of, just old Dance Gavin Dance, but just faster and just more intricate work, I guess. It's not, it's never been simple, but they're just adding in little things that they never would have thought of to add in before. Tillian, when he sings this part, I love his part in that song. I just think it's really catchy, and his melodies, the way he chooses his notes to fit in with the rest of DGD, I think he's amazing at that, and they picked him. They made a good choice picking him because of that. Tillian and John Mess are great at working together. You can see near the end of the song they do a part that resembles I Invented Times New Roman off Downtown Battle Mountain, and that was the second song, and this is the second song, and they're doing that kind of, I don't know if it actually correlates, but it's that kind of just double vocal work that Dance Gavin Dance is famous for, and I thought that it was amazing. And when they brought back in the opening riff without vocals, I thought that was absolutely genius. Alright, the third song that I'll be talking about is Acceptance Speech, track number 3. I love this song. immediately because it has a very groovy entrance, something that they messed around with Happiness a lot on, and that made me happy. I'm starting to notice, this is about the point, what I did when I was writing these, is I would just think what I heard and I'd write it down, just whatever I heard in my head, just write it down. So the first thing that I started to notice about this album as a whole, as vocals, that John Mess's voice, obviously, he's been doing this for a while, and I'm starting to notice a change in his vocals, in the tone of his vocals, almost like it's giving out a little bit over time, but, you know, I can't really tell if it's good or not. The more I listen, I guess I'm just going to have to give my opinion. He's keeping his similar rhyming scheme that he's used for every album, his really cool lyric scheme. It's always interested me. During the middle, I actually applauded to the paper. I really liked how heavy it was, because it got really, really heavy. In a way, it hadn't since the album had started, and I really liked it. And then at the end, the ending that Tillian sings is just wonderful. And even at the end, there's a little rap part that they threw in, almost like Spooks off Downtown Battle Mountain 2, and other songs that they've done. They just add that little vibe sometimes, and I thought that was really cool. I'm sorry if I'm stuttering a lot. My mouth is really dry because I've just been coughing and sick, but, you know, I'm trying. Track number 4 is a song called Carve. Carve was very interesting because it was one of those songs by Gavin that I couldn't really pay attention to. I just kind of fell into it. One thing I did notice at the very beginning that I wrote down is I just said very fast and angry, and I like that because they really started to just power into it. And I was waiting for that the entire album, because there are parts on every album that they're known to just go in really, really hard, and I definitely found that in the beginning of Carve. Did you like my rhyme? Anyway, so yeah, it was really chill and really, really good all the way through, and I just kind of fell into it, and that was something I applaud them for. Alright, track number 5 is Doom and Gloom. I'm trying to speed this up, so I'm just going to start going along. I'm sorry, I'm excited. Alright, I gotta say, this song is very full. You know, every instrument is just really doing its job, and the whole airspace of the music is just completely filled. I really, really want to mention how well the melodies between the guitar and the bass work together, but then Tillian adds either, you know, he'll do a minor third or maybe a whole fifth over it with his voice, and his ability to blend it is just wonderful. I even noted later on this song that Tillian almost doesn't need words, as you can tell from this album. There are parts where he just sings just straight notes, and it's clear that his voice is so clear and poignant that it's almost like an instrument, and he's using it like an instrument in some places, especially at the end of this song. I haven't heard anything too bad so far on the CD to mention that I remember reading, but the vocal editing, I thought the vocal editing as well on this song were absolutely amazing. Alright, number 6 is Strawberry Swisher Part 3. I have heard this song for a while, and I've listened to this way too many times before the album came out. I love this song. The opening riff with Tillian singing is just so catchy and so unbelievable. I thought it was the second song I heard, but as soon as I heard it, I loved it. If you listen to the chorus, Tillian really belts out some high notes. He really shows his upper range, and he sings pretty high at almost 4 octaves off middle C, and I think that is absolutely insane. You know, you're starting to tell, and well, I did at least, that this music is a lot more. It almost sounds a lot like Self-Titled and Happiness instead of Johnny Craig DGD. You know, it has that Kurt Travis vibe. Even though it's Tillian, they almost kind of brought it back a little bit. And yeah, I mean, this song was wonderful, the music video was wonderful, and that's all I really had to say about that song for sure. Do you guys like my star? I didn't know if I introduced you that he's Starry. Me and her best friend, that's why we match, of course. Alright, track number 7 is Honey Revenge. The main thing that I want to say about this song is I'm starting to notice when I listen to Tillian's actual lyrics that he's very cheesy, you know. His lyrics aren't weird and kooky like John Mess's are. They're very poppy, you know, something you'd hear on the radio. But it's starting to work for me the more I listen to it. It brings the DGD lyricism almost into the 21st century. The bass deserves to be mentioned at this point in the CD for how well it has just blended together. and just fill that open space that needs to be filled. And I'm really starting to notice the difference from their old producer Chris Crummett, because just the way it's produced is starting to give me a new type of vibe that I've never gotten from DGD, and I'm getting excited. So that's the first page, and let's move on to the second. All right, song number 8 is Demo Team. It's nasty and heavy as fuck. I watched an interview about them talking about their music, and they said Demo Team was their favorite song. Both Will Swan and John Mess did, and I can understand why. But the editing in it, in my opinion, this is the first thing I have to mention that I didn't personally like. But that was the vocal editing, the way it would be cut a little short, and the cymbals at some points become very drowned in under everything else. So that kind of made me upset as a drummer. But overall, this song was just, it was really heavy and really cool. It was a cool step back from DGD, and I think they like it because it's not the exact same vibe as what they're generally used to. Alright, after 4 parts, we have the Death of the Robot with Human Hair in track number 9. It opens almost like Kid Cudi, which I enjoyed, but it's very major. I'm starting to realize that he never really sings in minor, and they never write any minor choruses for him, and that almost starts to bug me. But I realize now that one riff from it reminded me of Need Money a lot, but it just seemed really too long. By the time 3:30 rolled around with this 5-minute song, I was just starting to get bored, and it just makes me upset. You can tell that there's starting to become a difference, but this CD is actually the last one that they have on their contract with Rise, so maybe this is just showing a separation for what is to come after they separate. Alright, number 10 is the Jiggler. Happiness immediately comes to mind. The CD, of course. John Mess kind of starts singing. He almost reminded me of Ollie Sykes and Sempiternal. The scream singing, really throaty. It's never ever dark, except at the points where John Mess tries to sing. But Tillian's parts, they're never really dark, and it's really starting to get boring at this point. But I'm still enjoying it because it's Dance Gavin Dance. But there's a couple really punk sections, just really heavy, thrashy shit. But then right when you think it's about to end, there's this really cool build-up, really melodic. There's a mini solo from what I believe is Josh Bennett, their new guitarist, and it is just, it's phenomenal. You really gotta check out the solo at the end. Last but not least, we have Turn Off the Lights. I'm watching Back to the Future Part 2. The first one was on Downtown Battle Mountain, and by God, that is one of my favorite Dance Gavin Dance songs. I absolutely love this song. So listening to this song, I had really high hopes, and from the first riff that's played, it is so pretty, and I knew it was the last song, and it set that mood for me. That it was like a book closing almost. It's the perfect lead to end it, in my opinion. I feel really positive, a really good vibe to finish off the CD with when I listen to this song. Tillian is just, at this point in the CD, he has become almost a crooner, or a serenader, and I love it. It just digs into my heart. His lyricism, he said some things in that song that just really hit home. And Swan's solo at the end is just, it's out of bounds. It's Will Swan definitely had his best with his leads. Not over yet, there was one last stand right at the end. It got really thrashy, and it was awesome. So it was a perfect song. If there's any song that I recommend you listen to off the CD, it's that one, because that one really stood out of how it was all together just really Dance Gavin Dance. Alright, so in order to tell you my final opinion of what's going on with this, I broke it down to 5 categories: musicality, vocals, concept, compared to other releases among the band, and compared to other releases of 2013. So for musicality, overall, because of everything that's going on, I'm going to give it an 8. For vocals, because of Tillian's new style and how it brings, but how John Mess is still just kicking ass, I'm also going to give that an 8. The concept of all the songs and how they're bringing back old song titles and finally killing off the robot with human hair, and the artwork as well is wonderful. I'm going to give that a 10. Compared to other releases between themselves, I loved all the other CDs, but I really think this is a step up for Dance Gavin Dance, so I'm going to give this a 7. Compared to other releases of 2013, I gotta give it a 7 as well, because it's really making its mark on the music community right now. So overall, when I did the math, I want to give this CD, Acceptance Speech by Dance Gavin Dance, an 8 overall. So thank you for watching this review. I'm getting really close to 15 minutes, so yeah, I hope you enjoyed. There's another one coming very soon. I enjoyed doing this. If you have any questions or further opinions, message me. anything like that, let me know. See you guys later.